Good morning,
Hey!
good evening, and good night.
Good.
You're listening to the Oswego Comic Shop Does a Podcast with me, Aaron Z. Lee, drinking beautiful Red Thunder from Aldi.
Oh, and me with a big zit on my chin. It's Evan Coy drinking a lemonade refresher from Stewart's, and we're here with very special guest star
Thundercat Ho.
Martin Kinney.
With, I guess, a Barks maybe I'm settling for. I don't know. I haven't opened it yet.
Okay, it's a good thing to settle on as a Barks.
Barks,
It has,
settle on it.
it has bite.
And I bite. So.
Oh, perfect.
Oh boy,
There's some synergy going on there.
you know who bites is
It's not
my
perfect.
niece.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Is that stand weird?
It just went flying off when I moved it.
Oh, okay. So my niece apparently is feral.
Oh,
Yeah.
COVID babies, what do you expect?
It's so interesting. My brother sent me this weird text. Not weird text. We just
such a weird text.
you text
It's all
about
letters and numbers.
like family stuff. And he was giving me the update on my nephew. And then he goes, yeah, and our 2-year-old daughter, your niece, is like a maniac. And Cameron, who is turning 7 this week, actually, he maybe turned 7 tomorrow, the 27th.
Wow.
But he's like the most gentle, kind little boy who's so obedient and so polite. And you can just stick him in a corner and he can just entertain himself for hours. Nadine is a feral
That's
animal.
Wolverine.
Who has been biting people at school and I guess bit Cameron really hard the other day. And they just don't know how to deal with this, that it's such a different experience than their first child, even though it's the same stimuli and everything. Like she turns on the stove, she unplugs things. She's truly like wild. So I think that's kind of funny how different.
Is she like a gremlin? Did they not follow the instructions?
I don't know. She's definitely a koi. She looks like a koi. She kind of looks like my grandma, actually, the koi side grandma. But
Was your grandmother mischievous?
I don't know. Now she's just
Was
a
she a
thousand.
biter?
Was she part of a bike gang?
She might have been. Now she's just a
Bike
thousand.
Bike gang. A bike gang. That's a group of vampires, I think.
Bite Gang. Oh, that's
Bite-
her vampire book.
Write it down. Bite
Bite
gang.
gang.
Where you're a biker gang of vampires. That's actually really good.
Yeah, like they definitely didn't do that in From Dusk Till Dawn, but it's okay.
But Dust Till Dawn's a great movie to steal from.
Yeah, it's a pretty darn good movie. Yeah. So
If
let's
Michael
steal
Kelly were here right now, he would be able to throw in a story.
it. About Bite Gang.
I think he just saw that for the first time.
Oh,
Did he really?
Kind of had the same impression that you did, Evan, where it's like, oh, this is a whole different movie now.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
I remember. We're going to give up on my niece who's feral.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it. We'll circle around.
Was it Boy Scouts? Watching that, like we would do these things called Slacker Weekend when we were a little bit older. That we would rent a cabin in the Webster Park, which is,
just the town park.
town park. We'd rent a cabin. We'd string up a bunch of Christmas lights, no matter what time of year it was. We would
Scared
run a
for a
bunch
second
of
there.
extension cords, and then we would bring a bunch of TVs, and we were good kids. Like we would just drink soda and eat chicken wings and watch movies for like 3 days straight in this this cabin. And I remember watching Dust Till Dawn for the first time, and that was like,
Yeah, you saw Selma Hayek.
Very nice lady.
she's a very nice lady.
Even to this day.
To this day, she's a very nice lady. Is that the Kirk Douglas thing?
What
Who's
do
she
you mean?
married to?
She's not married to Kirk Douglas.
No, that's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, I'm conflating ladies.
But
And
yeah, her
Kirk-
husband
and Kirk
is also
Douglas
not
is-
traditionally attractive.
But I just remember
Selma
like
Hayek? Really?
Her husband, yeah.
that movie was so great, and then
Yeah.
just how like 50 minutes in, it's like it goes from like this thriller, not action movie. What would you call it? I don't know. But then it's vampires. It's great.
It's kind of like, I mean, I compare it to Aliens too. Actually, I only saw Aliens, like the Alien sequel, probably within the last 5 years or so. Like actually watched the whole thing, but like how that movie escalates so perfectly. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm just shocked that you never saw it before.
Well, if it's not running constantly on TBS when I was a kid, like I'm not like I only saw the garbage. That's why I still love garbage so much. So you got to seek out the good stuff, only because it's easier to watch now. But I just remember that sequence with the spaceship is like rising up, and we think everything's safe, and then the stakes get higher, and then you think everything's safe again, and the stakes get higher. That might be James Cameron's best movie in my opinion.
Now, they also did a second Terminator film. Did you ever catch that?
I still might like Aliens, but I love Terminator 2. I was all
The
over that
Terminator
when
2
that
is like
came
one
out.
of the best sequels ever.
I rented that so many times from the corner store. when that came out on VHS.
All the kids have no idea what you're talking about right now. They've completely lost them. Corner stores renting VHS.
No kid is listening to this. This is nostalgia cast.
Jonathan Legoman says that lemonade looks so good.
It's moderately okay.
It's okay. I needed a beverage, and I didn't want something with too much caffeine. Everything has so much caffeine in it.
That's the way I like it.
So then I went with this, which is just a sugar bomb. But there's like a lemonade I get, maybe like Simply or something at Walmart. That's like
really
5%. Like it's like 5 calories per serving, and that's great. That's my regular go-to lemonade. That being said, you can tell we don't have much to talk about this podcast. The lemonade is pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The lemonade really helps my bowels.
Does it?
I don't know. Just trying to make it even more
his
old man.
bowels are scurvy free.
That is right. I pop in my Werther's. I get rid of my scurvy. That's what I do.
So maybe we should do a lemonade taste test podcast in the future.
I would do. We haven't done a food one in a while. We could do a food one.
Pull out
We can
pink
do that
lemonade
February
again.
8th.
Yeah. Is that when I'm not there?
Yeah, you're not here February 8th.
I'll just call in.
Yeah, you'll call in.
Hey guys, I'm drinking lemonade at home.
I just spilled some on Lucy.
She loves it. Oh boy.
Poor Lucy.
Yeah, she's a good girl. She had a good day today. She went to sleep, and with a teddy bear, went to sleep at a decent time and got a full nap. And before I went and picked her up. It was
Wow.
great. Yeah, she did great today.
Excellent. We love the goose.
Aside from like drooling Nutrigrain bar all over herself, but you can't win them all.
I mean, that's what we do here half the time.
just
We feed each
open
other
mouth,
Nutrigrain. Yeah, we feed
just
each other
let it
Nutrigrain.
drip down. I came up with a new title of a tobacco imitation song.
Because everyone knows who tobacco is.
Well, Black Moss Super Rainbow tobacco.
That's true.
Sick Bib.
Okay. It's not your best fake tobacco
Yeah.
song name, but I'll go for it.
But I would just imagine like an adult having a bib that's like really cool and like custom and decorative. I'd be like, yo, bro, check out my sick bib.
Sick bib.
I'd like clip it in and then I eat some lobster.
Oh, that's a good video though. Sick bib, like just really airy, like creepy synths, and it's just like a bunch of weird demonic-looking characters at like the Joe's Crab Shack.
Yeah.
And somebody brings out this gigantic lobster, and everybody just starts ripping into it. And there's just one character in the background with the gigantic sick bib. That I could. Okay, I'm on board now. I wasn't on board a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we should pitch that to Creep Show.
Yeah, sick bib. Creep Show.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Why
Creep
Creep Show? Why not?
Or we could pitch it to the new Ghost Machine
Yeah.
horror. Have you seen the new Ghost Machine
Hyde Street.
book?
Why not Hyde Street?
I flipped through it a little bit. I haven't really taken a deep dive into it.
Do we want to go into that? Let's do it.
What are we talking about? I'm sorry. I was
No,
reading this.
my bad. I didn't realize you
Well,
were
they have
already reading
T-shirts
it.
on the back.
Yeah, with T-shirts that I still haven't figured out how to do because I can't figure out how to attach it to our Facebook or for our Shopify.
Oh.
So Ghost Machine
It's a
is a
machine
new
made of ghosts.
is new imprint. Not a new imprint. It was Mad Ghost for a while that was doing Jeff Johns, Gary Frank superhero books. They were
My
doing
favorite kind.
yeah.
Rarely disappointed by that combo.
Yeah, I know. They did something called Junkyard Joe, which was a robot that was a Vietnam War experiment that was meant to protect a platoon of soldiers that shows up in present day to protect the one last living soldier. They did a project called, or a book called Geiger, which was a post-apocalyptic nuclear man, basically the legend of the green glowing man that was just wandering the burnt-out atomic radiation littered southwest United States, and his two-headed wolf dog companion, and just a fun post-apocalyptic tale.
It's like a boy and his dog.
Which we'll get into, I believe, in more detail next week.
Spoiler. What's that?
Spoiler.
For what?
Next week.
What's next week?
We're gonna be the Wayland Report.
Oh, he wanted. I thought for some reason when we said Wayland, my mind went to X-Men, but he wanted to talk about this stuff. This book though, $4.99. It's our no risk comic of the month. Buy it if you don't like it. We'll give you a $4.99 comic back of your choosing. So this is kind of showcasing Jeff Johns and Gary Frank got together with some other big artists and writers, and they're creating a shared universe that's very interesting. And Martin says it kind of reminds him a lot of CrossGen, which I thought was a very good. Which do you want to go just tell us a quick thing about CrossGen or
CrossGen was basically an instant universe, comic universe where they chose different genres. There's the teen fantasy. That sounded wrong. Teenage girl starring in a fantasy world. You had sword and sorcery. You had space. You had like mystic type stuff. And the only thing that really connected the universes was this mysterious sigil that they all had somewhere on them that magically appeared. And kind of the mystery through all the books was, where did the sigil come from? What's the reason for the sigil? But the books all stood alone.
So, Jonathan Legoman, where is Martin's hat is the question that has come out of that.
Where was it last week?
So, again, going back to our Mad Ghost, your Mad Ghost turns into Ghost Machine. Some cool superhero stuff. Redcoat, this character's called Redcoat, and it gives you character bios later on in this. Well, Redcoat apparently is just some kind of dopey guy who's lived throughout American history that can't die.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of funny, like, in this 4-panel thing here, it's like he just keeps, like, coming back to life, and people, you know, like what is going on? What is going on? But he is somehow tied to this superhero universe as well. It's just a lot of fun, silly stuff. So here it's called The Unnamed is the superhero universe, and it kind of gives this timeline of 300-ish years. And how do we think all of these characters are going to be tied together? And there's a little character bios.
Yeah. Widow Axe has her revenge.
Geiger, Junkyard Joe.
I like this little cartoony Junkyard Joe down there.
So the gimmick. Do you know what Junkyard Joe at all?
Well, just from the description just now.
So
yeah, he's like one of the few people who do not get the Geiger stuff.
So the main character is the lone surviving person from this Vietnam War platoon where the Junkyard Joe rescues him.
Mm-hmm.
So then the story cuts to modern day, and he's like a Charles Schultz type character where he does a cartoon strip based, or I'd rather Beetle Bailey, like a Mort Walker, where like he's doing this military based comic strip with this robot character, but he attributes the robot character being there in the Vietnam War to PTSD. He doesn't believe that it was real, that he believes he made this up, that this robot wasn't there to rescue him.
How did you not read this book, Aaron? It's kind of weird.
I didn't really even know about it.
So then this character then goes to retire, and he's a very popular cartoonist. And it somehow says, you know, in the newspaper, whatever town he lives in, and the robot shows up at his door. The robot is real. And the robot continues where his mission left off, which is taking care of and protecting this old man.
Mm-hmm.
But then the government gets involved trying to find the robot. Like, why is the robot out on the loose again? And but yeah,
wacky kids join the fun.
Yep.
It's like Short Circuit.
So yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
a little bit. So this one is this Rook?
Rook. To be continued in Rook, #1.
So
Exodus.
this one's like a science fiction type thing. The main character is a farmer that's brought to some other planet where they're bioengineering things, and there are wardens. So he is the warden of the crows and ravens. So he controls birds. There's a guy who's a pig warden. He controls all the wild boars. I think it's just like you pick your animal, and those are it's people running around with animal control powers fighting one another on this futuristic space planet that's farming weird things. It looks very pretty.
It is amazing. It looks really great for how little interest I have in what the story sounds like.
Yeah, I'm
Makes me sad.
I'm not super infatuated with the story, but the art is really pretty, and I do think it's one of these fun things of like, hey, like, do you like to draw animals? Let's just have a lot of animals battling, and then oh.
You know what's interesting? Like, there's Distillery, there's Ghost Machine, there's all
the
these
Rick Remender one that's coming out. That,
giant
generator.
Giant generator. Like, it's very interesting that all these like top tier creators are banding together and making all these imprints right now. Because I mean,
I think it tells you a little bit about the state of Marvel and DC.
Marvel, DC are,
that like
yeah.
There's so much you can do creator own wise, and I think Marvel and DC. Yeah, it's a watered down product, maybe a little bit. I don't want to poo poo comics. I want to be
I
positive.
just think right now that Marvel and DC are not in a great place creatively due to the financial situations of their parent companies.
And I think that comics is still the not the best way to tell a story.
But
it's a way for the fewest amount of people to tell a very visually interesting story.
yes,
That
absolutely.
you know, Aaron, you're a one-man comics machine. It takes a while to make a
Yeah.
comic, but like
Yeah.
you have total control over the art and the storytelling and the pacing
Yep.
and the dialogue, and there's not an
Mhm.
editor coming in and telling you what to do.
But maybe there should be.
And maybe there's, well, and I think so. We talked about that too. That
Yeah.
I think having a good editor is something that, like,
Yes.
if you have a
Yeah.
good editor, it makes your projects better.
Marvel and DC. Take note.
But I think this is a very interesting. So a shared universe. We started with superhero. We've
Yeah.
moved into sci-fi. I'm sorry, you're going to say something?
Well, just the nature of working for the big two, like there's a certain kind of editorial reset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if you
Well,
get
John Byrne always said that when you take over the characters and you write them, you do whatever you want. In the end, you leave them up at the status quo that they were at.
yeah, you put them
the
back in the
story.
toys.
Yep.
Put
Yeah.
the toys back in the box. So like when you own your own thing, you can
Get more
can-
character bios for
you
this Rook.
you can tell your four issue story and move on. You don't have to rehash the same thing over and over again.
So we've got our superhero, our science fiction. And now we kind of have a family type imprint, like
Family Odysseys.
so it touches on two different books here that I think are just all ages and deal with kind of a family dynamic. So this is the Rockefeller or Rocket
Fellas.
So the premise of this is it's a 25th century family, and it's kind of a utopia that they live in. But something bad has happened, so they need to go back to 2024
See.
to escape the whatever bad
They're
thing
like
has
a
happened.
witness protection thing.
So it's kind of a Jetsons family set in the present day, where they have like futuristic sci-tech,
Mhm.
but like, for instance, here, like they think they're being chased, and it's really just the neighbor who says you dropped your wallet in the driveway, and I'm trying to get your wallet to you. So like silly things like that, where
Who is the artist?
I don't know, the art for all of this stuff is great.
Really good.
You know, I think it's just like maybe there are high stakes, I don't know, but it just seems like a good, silly, fun family dynamic book.
You see what they're watching at the drive-in?
They're watching Junkyard Joe.
Yeah.
You know, it's remarkable to me. Like I just think about that one issue of Iron Man. You know, not to keep punching in the big two, because I mean I'm buying Doctor Strange and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to poop on the big two, but I think that there's a lot to be desired from lately in regards to Marvel.
And like so many of these books that are independent look beautiful. Like,
Oh, are we
like-
going back to the Iron Man that's so over-rendered that
Yeah.
like it loses
Like-
its touch?
Like this is just like a page of a story, but this is so well done.
It's got just very readable, cute beats. You know, the
Yeah.
boy and the dog. Is it the grandfather and the granddaughter, the husband and wife, and you know, it just ties it all up with this nice little. You're at the drive-in, and it nods to another property that's in this universe. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's so well done. Like
Um,
even this page, look at all the stuff that's happening in this.
So this is a different book, and I forget what this is called, but I guess
It's,
the Fire Girl and Thumbs Up guy.
so. This is
it's a devil and angel.
it's a devil and angel
Halo-
story that
Hornsby and Halo.
there's a family of angels and a family of devils, and the way that they've decided to keep the balance
Ooh.
between heaven and hell is the family of angels has a daughter who is a devil, and the family of devils has adopted a son who is an angel. So that's their way of keeping the dynamic
The
between
peace between them?
Yes, between them. But
It's like the Game of Thrones thing.
but in this scene, they're playing baseball against one another, and their powers begin to manifest through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you're starting to see that, like, oh, like he hits the ball so hard he breaks the bat, and she's kind of doing some things too, like she's throwing the fireball or whatever. But they're starting to develop their powers.
This is the X-Men playing softball.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Like they didn't do it, so somebody else was like, you know
Had to do
what?
it.
You know what? We're just gonna do it.
But just another cute.
Wow, look at that cartooning, like throwing the bat over the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think all the art in this is great. This
Yeah.
might be the art that resonates with me the least, but I
Really?
think technically it's very strong.
'Cause I like this a lot.
And this book is technically everybody's first appearance except for
Geiger
Junkyard
and
Joe
Junkyard
Geiger.
Joe.
Like look at this. There's a couple little speed lines here, and the guy looking up. This is such a great panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad by any means.
Oh, and then look, they're turning up the grittiness on the. This guy's got this guy or gal, whoever is drawing this has
yeah, I
got
don't know
some
why there's
chops.
not credits for them.
You know, there's a bit of almost Corey Walker in here for me.
Yeah, because of the kind of minimal lines.
Yeah, the minimal lines, but like the really strong design elements.
Yeah.
And then so you get to the end here.
That's
There's
so
a
good.
mysterious man watching the kids,
with
and
a catcher helmet on.
it says, "Do you want to file your monthly report?" And so it's implied that there's somebody who's watching the angel boy and the devil girl and monitoring to see what's going on here. So besides just living with the other side's family, there's a third party in here, it appears, that's just keeping an eye on everybody.
Also has like a Mignola Hellboy.
Yeah, with
Just
the
a strong
yeah.
blacks. Yeah.
the black and white. Yeah, or
Yeah, that I can't think
In
of the
that-
words
in
I
that
want for that
composition
tone. Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, Mignola stuff's been out there for a while. If smart people rip it off.
Some more character bios there. Like I like the ghost, or not the ghost. There's like the grandmother's a hologram. So apparently she must have passed, but she still exists as a hologram.
This guy's supposed to be 39. Man, he's got a kid that's like that old. Whew, I'm old, man.
Well, it's also fake.
Yeah.
So
The
now
interesting one for me is this Hyde Street.
Hyde Street
Ooh,
is
this does look interesting.
it looks like a creep show type thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this is going to be like an anthology or it's going to be different artists and
He's
writers.
gonna like the next
Ooh.
page.
Ooh la la.
Told ya.
Cooper Black, baby. Yeah, this is fun. Look at the X-ray specs. Whoever got to draw these spot illustrations was having a blast.
Well, the X-ray specs come into play later on here. It looks like, but just kind of a fun throwback to like monster, comics of the 50s and 60s maybe.
This is totally a riff on that Jack Davis Frankenstein
Yeah.
poster. Yeah.
Are sea monkeys trademarked?
Maybe.
I bet they are.
Interesting. 'Cause
So-
there's piranha people.
Ooh,
there.
yeah. Look at this
The art in this is great. So
at
this
that
is
angle,
interesting.
baby.
It's every city, every town has a Hyde Street, they say.
Okay.
So I think it may go from like city to city, town to town, and the strange little occurrences or little weird things that happen, little spook, a little whatever. So the little kid here is trying to talk to the braggart on the phone, and he's reading superhero comics in the Rockefeller.
Didn't Marvel used to do that? Like characters would constantly be reading
Yeah.
their own
Mhm.
comics. That's a gimmick they should have never gotten rid of.
Steve Rogers drew his own comics.
That's right.
That's if I get to do a book for Marvel, I think that
Mhm.
would be the one. I think that's what I would have to do.
Steve Rogers drawing his own comics.
Yeah.
But anyway,
or
the little
Doctor
kid's trying to talk to him, trying to help him out. He's a third year trailblazer. And the guy just kind of piss off. But something's going on here. There's something weird with the kid. There's something weird with this scenario. This dog starts following him, and then we kind of go into more dialogue here of every town, every place has a strange street where things happen.
Love that
Now
last
all of a sudden you
panel.
see that last panel's great. Even every era.
Like
There's
whoever is drawing this stuff is going for it. Like there's nothing held back here. They are going so hard.
Jonathan Legerman says the Sea Monkey trademark policy governs the usage of the logo in the world. Who knew? So now
Yeah,
we're
just the
cutting
shift from like the kid talking to those panels is just great.
And now
I'm light
we're-
and happy art. I'm dark.
we get past our goons and goblins here, and it takes us to another town where it's like the weight loss products that this woman is shilling. And again, it just seems like there's some evil weirdness going on here. Again, there's a Hyde Street in every town. In every town, there's a weird, mystical, creepy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut back to our initial scene with the dude and the dog, and the dude gets murked by a semi-trailer.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
There's not going to be much of him left.
yeah. But anyway, so they're doing superhero, a science fiction, some family-friendly titles, and then what looks to be like short story horror. So like, what a fun...
And if they
Universe.
can do what they did with Geiger and Junkyard Joe, where they have that strong humanity, Geiger with the tie to his family, and then Junkyard Joe, which is just this robot who you think you'd get no emotional connection to at all, who conveys emotion beautifully throughout the whole thing.
I say it every time I pitch the book to somebody, that it's amazing the amount of emotion you get out of a character that doesn't talk. The robot doesn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
But the little things, the little movements, the little like at one point in time you could tell he's programmed to help protect this man.
Mm-hmm.
So what does he do when he shows up? He just starts cleaning. Like he grabs a broom and just starts like that's his way of like showing that I'm here to care for you and I'm here to take care of you. It's just very interesting. It's very well done. Yeah.
Agreed.
So anyway, this is our no risk comic of the month.
I gotta say, I'm intrigued by Junkyard Joe. I might have to check that out.
We just sold our last copy. We got more copies
yeah?
on order. We should be here. They should be here next week.
I'll bring in my copy.
Yeah, but you'd like it. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah.
It's a good book. They're great reads. They're not changing the world, but they're just so well done and just so fun. And it's 6 issues. You're telling a great little story.
That's
Love
what
it.
it's all about. I mean, for me as a consumer,
Yep.
that's what I want. Is something that's easy to get, and I can get the whole thing,
Yep.
and I can read it and enjoy it.
I think these books, it looks like, start launching in April.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway,
Allegedly, we'll see.
It's coming right up.
you got some other stuff you want to look at,
Yeah.
or do you want to talk Thundercats, or
Oh yeah. What do you want to do?
We can just go Thundercats real quick. We can do that.
yeah, go.
No, just an interesting piece of news. Thundercats #1 from Dynamite is recently been solicited for order, and #1 has 32 covers because Dynamite does so many covers for each book. Those 32 covers got about 100,000 unit sales, pre-orders. Then they announced
Which when you're selling a comic of 100,000 copies this day and age, that's a top 10 book
Yep.
easily. That's maybe a top 5 book.
caveats are 32 covers, returnability.
Yeah.
Then they added 3 other covers, all variations of a Liefeld cover, Rob Liefeld, and that jumped the sales up to 70,000 more copies.
So they went from roughly, and again, I don't think they know exactly how to keep track of the number of
Yeah.
books. So I mean, I'm sure.
It's mostly through Diamond, so
Okay, if it's through
Yeah,
Diamond,
yeah,
they
the
should
only
know.
source- yeah,
They
that
should
one
know.
might actually be extremely accurate.
But so to sell 100,000 copies, and then you get Rob Liefeld involved, and you're selling 70,000 copies on top of that.
Oh wow. Is it? So the additional 70,000 is from his.
From
Yeah,
Rob.
his 3 covers.
Wow.
His regular cover that can be ordered in any number. Then there was an incentive one. There was like a virgin, 100 copy thing.
I don't understand, guys, how Rob Liefeld is still so relevant. And I'm not pooping
Not a
on him
slam
in
on
any
him,
way,
No.
but like, he still moves the needle
Mm-hmm.
every time.
Yep.
Every time his name is attached to something, it sells like gangbusters. Why?
Yeah, because Evan was
Are-
asking the question of the day.
are-
Are young kids today? Do they know who he even is?
Yeah, do
Young
kids know who Liefeld is? I
Is it
feel
just
like
us keeping him around.
Kids know who Spawn is. I don't, because I mean I teach middle school. I ask, hey, do you know who Spawn is? And they go, yeah, we know who. Spawn
do you know who
is.
Youngblood is though?
No.
No.
Do you know who owns Youngblood?
No one knows
No.
that either. We know.
No.
Rob can't answer that.
Well,
We're
who's-
comic book
Who
experts, so we
does
don't
he-
know.
He's got Brigade, and does he have Evangeline still?
I would.
But
I
those
honestly
are
don't
even
know.
more down the line. Supreme,
Supreme.
but
But
kids don't know
do
Supreme.
kids know Rob Liefeld, or is this just again 40-year-old men who grew up on his stuff, who are still in love with everything, and
The rabid cult of Rob, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I'd still like his stuff. I like his art. I like his certainly his personality in the podcast. His podcast is very upbeat and positive, and it tells great stories.
I thought he was kind of controversial, but Martin was telling me the other day, no, like you still really like him
He's
as a
like one of
person.
the few comic creators that I still have any ties to on social media that
I mean,
driven me crazy.
I mean, there's some allegations, but I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't go in on anything to buy from him that wasn't delivered on. So, so I don't have those feelings.
Kickstarter or whatever.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, but I don't know the
Can't trust these Kickstarter folk.
It happened so long ago. I don't even. I mean, there may be very valid criticism, but I just don't know. But I mean, his public face is very entertaining.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
All the interactions I've had with him through the web
Yep.
have been very nice. But
Yeah, you've
but I-
had minimal conversation
yeah,
with him.
but
right?
I'm not a troll. Like,
Yeah.
like I respect him for what he's done.
Exactly what a troll would say.
It's a troll says I'm not a troll. He was on vacation in Italy or whatever, like live streamed it when I was checking Instagram one time, and I just popped in, and I was like, "Oh, hey Rob, have a good vacation." And he's like, "Oh, thanks, Pens and Pedals." And I was like, "Yeah, we got him."
So
He
yeah,
did.
so-
He spoke to you in a Todd McFarlane impression.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did, yeah, he did.
He's
Thanks,
like,
bud.
hey,
Best."
hey, bud.
He does a great Todd
He
though.
does.
All the image. Does every image founder do a great Todd?
They all do one, but yeah,
They all do a Todd.
Liefeld is amazing. But yeah, so Thundercats, another 80s property that's
Tell us why we should care about Thundercats.
Yeah, tell me.
I feel like
hose.
I missed it by like a year. I was just a year too young.
I don't want to poo-poo on it, but
It's a giant. It's a anamorphic cat creature things, and they fighting mutants, zombies, a giant mummy that lives in a pyramid, and
What
not
a
quite sure why.
what
So
a
there's some
sales
backstory.
pitch.
But yeah, no, their world blows up. They're on their way. They're stranded.
Did you ever
on
think
this new
maybe they
planet.
deserved it?
What, their world to blow up? Maybe. We deserve our world to blow up.
We,
so
well, we
you're
kind of
not
do. Who's
kinda what
doing this
people
book?
do.
Who's
Hmm?
doing this book?
Declan Shelvey is
Nobody.
the writer.
Yeah.
I like him. I think I like his art more than his writing, but maybe I just don't know enough. Maybe he's got a great idea and it's just gonna take off like crazy. Artist Drew Moss. I'm not familiar.
I
with
don't
that
know Drew
artist.
Moss. Do you know Drew Moss?
I think I saw some moss by him once. He drew moss.
I like this Jay Lee cover.
Well, Jay Lee is somehow contractually obligated to do a cover for every single
Dynamite
book
property,
that Dynamite
yes.
book comes out.
Maybe. And,
I really don't
what-
understand the business model of Dynamite at all.
with all the variant covers.
Yeah. How do you? Well, I mean, obviously that works for this one, but how do you pay for like 20 covers?
On a book that's not going to sell.
I'm sorry, Vamprella's not going to sell 100,000 copies.
No.
I don't get it either. It is a weird business model, but somehow it works.
It must be they're still going.
The Comic Tropes guy is friends with the owner of Dynamite. But they haven't talked about like the business aspect of it.
I'd be very curious.
Me
I
too.
mean,
Me too. I think it's fascinating because I don't understand it all. We are comic experts who deal with comics every day. I don't understand how that company works. I just don't. And it's not again. We're not being negative.
No, it's just it must work. There must be some. Yes, sir.
Because you still have to pay for the people to do the artwork.
Yeah.
And these guys are not cheap.
No, these are big
there's
names.
real names.
These are big names.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you'll multiply that now by a good chunk.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know, probably a couple $1,000s to get
Mhm.
these people to do this stuff. And then you multiply that by 32. So now we're talking
Yeah. I mean, it's
like a lot of money. So you're just hoping that they sell.
and they
I
must
don't
sell
know.
because they keep doing it.
They
and
keep
they've been
doing
doing
it.
it
It's
for a
not-
decade. So
Yep.
at least,
Is it just like they go for properties where people are very rabid collectors and they want?
like I said, they got Vampirella. They got. It's a bunch of like mediocre properties. I'm sorry, Thundercats isn't A list.
Yeah,
In itself.
I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
But you know what property is A list?
Dun, 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 dun.
Transformers.
And you know, I'm being kind of negative today, a little bit.
Why am I the positive one today? You guys, come on.
I did not love the Michael Bay.
Jonathan
movies,
is gonna have notes.
but I love the original animated series and that the
Yeah.
animated movie from '86, and this is right inside that stuff. The new Transformers.
Have you been
by
reading
Daniel
it?
Warren Johnston. I flipped through the first one. I just been so busy with stuff. It's all stacked up next to my exercise.
It's a long way of saying no.
I did not.
He's a
no.
comic fan, so of course
Yes,
he's sitting
yes,
on a pile
that's true.
somewhere. That's what we do.
He's a real comics reader because he doesn't read them.
Well, I have those creepy and eerie books that have 10-page stories. And I feel accomplished getting through a 10-page story.
Yeah.
But man, look at these panels, man. The choppers coming through,
He's got such energy.
and he's writing it too. So he's a cinematic
Yep.
comic artist here, making this stuff. And
These are
it's-
great
and he's
pages.
got
Least
the,
favorite part of this podcast.
what is?
Trying to see the pages
Oh yeah,
with the
yeah.
delay. and
Dressa
everything.
loves this part when we go into. She's probably long.
Well, at least you
shut
can
off the
see it on
podcast.
her.
You could have grabbed a copy of this.
But
on
making
delay.
making
Yeah.
the
I did
Oh,
that one.
this page.
inside the Ark, which is their ship.
Everybody's just trashed.
Yeah,
Now,
there's
why are the
Lorenzo.
Transformers on Earth? What happened there?
Wow.
Is their planet ruined by war and they escaped to Earth and crashed because they were sabotaged by Decepticons?
I believe so.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Seeing a pattern in
right.
the types of stories they told in the 80s.
Oh, is that? Oh,
That's
yeah.
the Thundercats.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Man, look at these action sequences. I like the.
The speed lines for his stuff. Who does the lettering? Like, do you think he's?
I think it's Daniel Warren Johnson, but maybe not.
Oh, Russ Wooten. But I feel like
Russ
some of these sound effects he's doing, Warren Johnson's doing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a combination. I bet they're working together. But the thing, the Transformers artwork in the other IDW stuff, I've flipped through like a few of them over the years. It's always excellent
Yeah.
because you got to have top
Yeah.
artists in order to even draw this stuff. Because this is, have you ever tried to draw Optimus
Yeah,
Prime?
No,
it's technical
I-
drawings.
It's super hard
Yeah.
to draw.
It's why I struggle with like buildings and perspective, and like I like angular stuff, but
Yeah.
like I like angular people, not angular robots.
Yeah, but the thing about Daniel Warren Johnson's art on this is the roughness. It's the thing that bumps us up from like, because I think all those IDW books are probably
how-
pretty good.
The color too.
Yeah.
This is a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes.
This is just so bright.
And look at these fights. Like this is like like if you have a Godzilla comic book and you just want to see Godzilla fight other
Yeah.
monsters. You just want to see Autobots and Decepticons going at it.
Just trying.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that.
So-
we're gonna make that.
That's the one.
that's a reel for this
yes.
one.
What I like about this artwork is that over some of the other artwork that's come in between, like the original Marvel ones, is that it's
Yeah.
not super glossy and
Yes.
almost like the comic version of Michael Bay not being able to see any of the action. stuff
Like
that.
the and I'm
Yeah.
not again not we're not being very negative, but like the udon, very slick.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, amazing artwork done.
Yeah.
But
It's more of an illustration than a
Yeah.
comic. And that's something.
yes.
That's
there you go.
That's something that I've run into because I love illustration. But like when I'm doing comics, I have to dial down the detail because like look at this is a perfect example of dialing down the detail and it just reads so good. And like the graphics and the colors on this, you could make every panel a T-shirt on this.
You really could. I'm in love with the sound effects.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the speed lines, and I know that
Grapple.
this is just like, and that's not what I would want in a sound effect or automatopoeia or whatever.
Yeah.
But man, it just fits so well, and it's just this.
Also, anytime you put pink and teal and like a sky blue together, delightful.
This has been Aaron Z. Lee discusses color.
Two
I
colors
like
exist
pink.
on Aaron's color wheel.
Well,
Yeah, the wiggle on that line,
if
like
it-
his, that you just see that foot, like
you know this guy's looking at some manga for
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
So we have a G.I. Joe puzzle out there, which is the cover
Yeah.
to G.I. Joe 1 with those lines. So annoying.
Yeah.
So trying to piece that all together, it was not fun at all.
This is like, it's got the '90s bombast, but like the excellent storytelling.
yes.
From today, like this looks like a panel you might see in like a '90s Transformers, but done now. Look at that like hot magenta on that explosion. Like this
Ding.
book is just eye candy. I mean, I think there's a good story happening here too, but
But the topless RC scene lately is kind of gratuitous.
is that a thing?
No.
Oh, who do they have? They have the artist of the Me You Love in the Dark or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Who is going to take over after this? And I like his
Okay.
artwork too, because Daniel Warren Johnson
impressive it was.
can't just keep on writing and drawing it monthly indefinitely.
This is sick though. It's really good.
Well, look, he's going nuts. Like now we've got like Starscream and the Jets and stuff. Like look at the blur on that.
And this isn't the fake post blur. This is just he's really
Yeah,
scribbly
yeah.
Yes.
with the line, and it just works so
That-
well.
Have you seen that in manga before?
Yeah,
That kind, yeah.
it's like the one kid we met at the U of R. He had
yes.
a lot of that.
Yes. Like as a first issue,
This is super strong.
this thing goes so hard. And then Starscream is kind of your
Oh, the squish at the end.
Mhm.
yeah.
Bye, buddy. He's not coming back from that one.
It describes the stakes of these things because they're big.
I don't know how it is nationally, but I think it's really interesting how well Transformers is selling and how not well the G.I. Joe books are.
Transformers, the biggest comic launch in a decade, I think,
so, yeah.
is what I read. And G.I. Joe's not doing well.
I don't think it's doing anywhere near as well, at least not here. I don't know nationally or anything.
I don't know
it's-
either. I just assumed G.I. Joe was doing
Yeah.
well because Transformers was doing so
But
well.
also
But
it's like a Duke miniseries, a Cobra
Yeah.
Commander. It's not really the best way to launch something.
And well, Transformers was huge when I was a kid. Like I had the Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, and I think might have been the only ones that I had, or maybe some other small ones. But like, it's a concept. I mean, I guess it's like Thundercats and Transformers are derivative of whoever is the. Well, I guess Superman, right? Escaping a dying world
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coming to Earth. But I think for that, it's the premiere part of it because it's got gimmicks on gimmicks on
Yeah.
gimmicks. Like, not only is it aliens from another world crash landing on the planet and trying to survive,
They're giant robots.
they're giant robots who,
transform
That's
into
right.
something else.
yeah,
My nephew watches this show on PBS called Dinosaur Train.
Mhm.
What a great gimmick. Kids love trains.
And dinosaurs.
Kids love dinosaurs. Let's travel around and look
Have
at
them fight a fire. You got it all.
I mean, yeah, like Dinosaur Train.
it's
Great
like the
gimmick.
Dinobots.
Yeah. That's wait. What did the Transformers then go to?
Mhm.
They're from another planet. They transform their vehicles, and then there's Dinobots.
Me, I'm super popular. That was my Grimlock impersonation. It was
Oh, Grimlock.
really spot on.
Man, that episode is seared into my memory. The Dinobots.
The origins.
I think we had that on VHS, and I think I watched it a ton when I was really little.
Yeah.
So I remember Grimlock.
I don't remember any episodes specifically. I mean, I remember all the characters. I remember going to like KB Toys or Kitty City in Rochester. Do you have a Kitty City around here?
I went to Kitty City in Rochester.
Great toy store. But like looking at all
I
the
got a Lionel
Transformers.
train there. I got my
Nice.
I got my Mr. T cartoon tie-in board game. I forgot what that was called. Mr. T. He had like a bunch of gymnasts he was training. They were teenagers. They had adventures around the world. Good stuff. You should look it up.
Because I pity those kids.
He pities the,
Sure, it's
the fool.
absolute garbage.
You want to look at the comics you brought?
Yeah, yeah.
Broad.
Well, I mean, they were.
Oh, I guess these are comics.
I
of-
went the comics that Martin wouldn't let him leave the store with yesterday.
Yes, he held on to these. Yeah, so the comic shop picked up a collection of the day, right?
Huge collection.
collection.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually, yeah, we'll go through that at some point. In time.
Yeah.
There's some good covers.
But this is some of the stuff that they held aside for me because this is the garbage that
No one else is gonna want.
nobody
So
else
it's-
wants,
no.
but I get very excited about. So even this cover here, like, look at this green guy. It's like, is he like really attracted this part in the
Part of
bubble
the fun
suit?
of going through these random boxes because they weren't organized very well.
Yeah.
Was just picking out things that were like, oh, this is for Aaron. Oh,
Yeah.
this would be for
Yeah,
so-
this is
so-and-so.
this is
And it's
Aaron
like,
Berlin.
yeah.
This is Jack Lee.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Christian Sweet. Like just the
Yep.
books that.
It's just fun. Like, oh yeah, we know.
Like, I love how strange this is because is this green guy like trying to kiss him or like
They're trying to make a space baby.
I think they are, and then based on the science fiction television series, what?
What was the series?
Space Cadet.
It's called Space Cadet. The original Tom Corbett or Corbett Space Cadet. It must be Corbett.
Jonathan, look that up.
We've talked to Aaron before how we both love the bubble helmet science fiction and
It's
space
great, yeah.
stuff. That's the book we have to collaborate on.
Yeah, I
is
think
the, is the space like and doing it like strips too.
That might be a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
because this makes me like
I
I've
instantly hate this book.
been looking.
Well,
I'm
You've-
sure it fits for what the story is. It's not
so
like I'm
it's a
flipping.
reprint.
Yeah, you're not flipping back and forth. Between
Yeah.
the,
It's consistent at least.
Ed Piskor's been posting his comic strip stuff, and I know that you've been kind of taking some notes from that, doing
Yeah.
more comic strippy stuff for some upcoming Wesley.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff when we did our comic strips very briefly for the newspaper, like the Dr. Proctor strip that I did.
I think that's a great concept.
but this
honestly.
is something like along that same lines of like
You know-
I'd love to have it be a very like dated style of art. That's a serious looking art, but then have the story be very silly.
Yes.
So like a good mix of serious art with silly. What are you eating? Are you eating the things?
I'm making a donut.
Oh, okay.
Donut, not a donut, because
A
donut
donut.
can't be copyrighted
Man.
or trademarked. Look at these halftones in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I really need you to do me the horoscope gag that you were going to do that you never got around to. for
Oh,
comic
yeah.
strips,
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
That was brilliant.
Oh, what was it? That's beneath me.
Yeah,
and then the
yeah.
horoscopes were running up.
Because the
and-
horoscopes were all running beneath the comic shop strip.
This reminds me of when I did Ithacon
That was
last
a good joke,
It
right?
was
year. Yeah,
astrology,
it's a great
so-
joke.
Beneath
There,
me.
there was a guy next to me who had an old comic strip thing that was torn because I guess back in the day, people who worked on comic strips, like they didn't care about the original art; they just tore it up and threw it out, pretty much.
Crime. What a crime.
And that was back in the day when you like people had the skill to make a perfectly straight tapered line and have it be perfect. Like this guy had half a thing, and I was looking at it, it was like a computer did it, but it was from the 40s. So a computer did not do it. A human did it.
I can't draw a straight line to save my life.
And that's another reason I love this stuff is because just the amount of skill that people look at the silhouettes
Yeah.
of people
That's
back
a
there.
beautiful panel.
Every single story in here you can steal stuff from.
It's a price of innovation, my friend.
Is this? Oh, when I know we always talk about stuff to do. This really is something that, like, I want to do a comic, and I have trouble with coming up with a story.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of these things where it's like, again, another project that you and I could do is like, let's come up with some strips.
Yeah.
Even if you want to do some rough pencils, and then give it to me, and then I can give it pass them back and forth.
Ninja Turtle style.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtle style, but with bubble helmets.
Yeah. I've got some bubble helmet ideas. But we got to do the obstacle. I gotta get cooking on that. But
Yeah, I just want.
well, look at that. I'm a sucker for this old school retro sci-fi stuff. I
Do
just
some
love it
rough,
so much.
do some rough breakdowns of something and give that you don't want to do, and give them to me.
All right. I mean, it's I could
Yeah,
go through.
that's-
I
that's
could go. I
awesome.
could go through it.
Again,
but
I just saw the bubble helmet thing, and I was like, oh, that's
this is a really nice.
That's so
pick.
Raven,
Thank you
that's so
guys for
Lee.
that. Yeah, and then
What did you just say?
that's so Raven.
Like the Disney show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Raven is as old as me. I think we're the same age. The Last Shoggoth. This is just another black and white like sword and sorcery thing. I do like seeing.
No tones, just looks like it's all line art.
Yeah, I do just like looking through black and white stuff. This is some attractive art though. I got to say,
It's
there's
very nice.
definitely some energy in this stuff.
Again, I don't know
Very
if this is exactly for you, but it's like there's enough here that I think everyone would appreciate.
It's growing on me. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know, but oh yeah, like look at that. That's a nice explosion. I just like black and white art because,
Yep.
well, because as an independent artist, you kind of have to let go of one thing to keep it going. Because
You don't. I don't think that that's true.
well, but also, I mean, it is
Well,
cheaper.
flaming carrot in the back
Yeah,
there.
it
though.
is cheaper
Hey.
to produce artwork that's black and white, and I think you can do it in a way that doesn't feel like you're losing anything. Like I always think of Ashley Wood's black and white artwork,
Yeah.
and you're not losing anything. You're getting absolutely everything. Yeah, but this is nice. In all the books that you guys have got me, or saved for me, even if the book is interesting.
I just realized, is the flaming
ads in the
carrot
back are-
farting?
Yes,
I just realized that.
yes. Bob Burden, a
Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York native who has made his name probably in Atlanta, Georgia, but it's nice that we can claim him a little bit. That's why when I take pictures of Wesley the Robot, I put him in between Spain Rodriguez and Bob Burden, upstate New York guys. This is a cool spread too.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
The comic shop has your favorite back issues.
It's an ad from the comic
Yes,
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should rip this off.
Wow, we should rip this off.
Mm-hmm.
We should rip that off. No one would get it, but I feel like that's a great reference.
Well, but the beauty of it is it's not just a reference to a classic thing. It would absolutely work.
oh yeah.
For, I mean, good design is like that. Oh, concrete in the back of this thing too. And hard boiled. This is a good little relic. And this is very Frazetta Mignola Adventures. Oh, look at that. Frazetta Williamson and Sutton and more.
More.
Oh yeah.
That
Wait,
first page is
there's
great.
more.
I love the interior publisher's notes stuff. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Oh, it's a detective dog. Oh, you know what? I didn't even really flip through this thing. This thing is great. He just picks up a dog bowl and just starts lapping it up like a dog. Oh, wait. Was he not really a dog? Oh, I'm so confused. I'm going to have to read that later.
Yeah.
Oh, and this has got lots of stories with people who are part animal, looks like.
Oh yeah, I thought that was a woman lying on the ground. No, she's a cheetah or something.
Yeah.
Cheetahs never
This is
prosper.
a fun panel, too, with all the... I don't know what that is exactly, but... I wonder... I bet this is Sutton doing this. But maybe not. Maybe not. No, I don't think that's Sutton.
I don't think so either.
This is Williamson. Well, Frazetta and Williamson. Dang, look at that. Anytime you can get some Frazetta comics... Yeah, this is good stuff. Look at that. The 3/4 view, or like the back view of the head there.
Actually, I have so many limited faces that I do, but I used to do that back 3/4 face a lot.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that in a long time.
Dan Klaus does a ton of them.
Yeah.
Next time you look through any, look at the scribbly like behind the head. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. This is a good little sampler of.
Well, that's why we picked it out for you. Jeez.
Whoa, yeah. who did this?
I think we're just doing this willy nilly.
Mike Zeck on this one.
Oh wow. Yeah, this book has a murderer's row.
Yeah. Look how bold this typography
Yeah.
is too. I
Allegedly.
love that. Like you guys have a Will Eisner book in on your discount shelf there for $10. I was looking through that.
Do we, or is it listed on eBay currently?
I don't know.
Might be.
But Eisner, heck of a letterer.
Yeah.
Like
All these guys could
amazing
letter.
lettering. Look at these monsters. It's got monsters. This is great. Oh, it looks like a short story here. It would be so cool to be a comic editor with some money.
Well, I think like Ahoy does cool stuff like
Yes.
that, where it's just like here's a spot illustration, here's a story, here's a a fun backup that's just a different thing.
Yeah, it would be cool to do like a true like comic magazine. Oh, look at that. That's so Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but
No, it looks. The rest of it doesn't really look like it actually, to be honest.
not sure who is doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I have to check that out. Yeah, I love these old black and white ads with that stuff. I don't know. I don't.
It's funny, we were just talking about the grid on the Marvel Comics Presents the other day too, and it's like the same thing.
Well, it's because it's the very earliest type of desktop publishing. You know what I mean? Like the very first like digital layouts that would have those kind of graphics, which would be.
So that's
cutting edge.
not tones or like Zipatone that's cut out.
I mean, it may be, but it looks to me like really early computer. Because like, did you ever use like Print Shop or whatever?
Maybe
way back in the day.
maybe.
I kind of wish that my parents hadn't gotten rid of the old Apple IIe and the dot matrix printer, because I would have tried to do current graphics on it. I'm sure there's emulators. But look at this. The back cover is a Frazetta painting too. This is good stuff. And then we can just breeze through these.
Yeah.
Loner in space. No one can hear you. That's pretty awesome. Actually,
No one can hear you kill.
This must be dang, that looks like Gulacy or something. I don't think it is, but
You know so many.
Shaky Kane's in there. Are you kidding me?
What?
Grant Morrison, Rian Hughes,
What year is
Charles
this?
Pete Milligan, Brendan McCarthy, Paul Neary. This is. It's from Fleetway. It doesn't have a. I don't see a date on the interior.
It has to have it somewhere.
I don't see it.
Printed in Spain. Maybe that.
But yeah, like
Give
Look-
it to Martin for a second.
we'll just look at Black Magic by Masamune Shiro. So
I
this
thought Shaky Kane was how old is he?
he's an older guy.
I thought he was like a newer person, like
No,
over the
no,
past
no.
5 to 10 years.
No, he's the same age as like Jamie Hewlett. He came up with those guys.
Oh, okay.
But some Masamune Shiro. I guess this is his earliest work. Some more black and white stuff. I love the color of this paper
Oh, I just want to feel the paper.
and the design work, like having this page be all black. Well, it's got like a
Gradient.
a gradient going up. Just the design work on this thing. And I mean, I know this originally was not in English, and I think they flipped this and cut these pages up and stuff. But very strong storytelling, very strong layouts and ship designs, environment designs.
I love the tones in this too.
Yeah, like I love the tone on this because it's very bold.
Yeah. And it almost has some of those like Daniel Warren Johnson little
Yes.
little shakes to it that like.
Well, I think he would agree. He probably got it.
oh,
from-
I mean, I'm not implying that they Thank you. Yes.
Masamune Shiro was probably an influence
Yes.
on Daniel Warren Johnson, and he's becoming more of an influence on me too. Specifically, like his tech designs, like his tech stuff is really cool. Because I remember back in the day on my earliest introduction.
These pages are nice.
Yeah, my earliest introduction to anime was the Anime Saturday or something like that. Japanimation.
Japanimation, yeah.
And they would play kind of the sci-fi stuff that was more violent, well, as much as they could play on
Yeah.
cable TV. And then we got rid of cable, so that was like that kind of went away. But that's,
Even this, I love.
I was looking at this. I think, well, I definitely think Will Spertasio and Jim Lee, like in
Yeah.
their heyday on Marvel, had looked at Masamune Shiro and a lot of manga and anime. Because like, doesn't this kind of look? Couldn't you imagine the X-Men hanging out in this as a part
Yeah.
of like the Ready Room and the Danger Room?
1991.
Okay, so it's not as
Yeah.
old as I thought. Thank you, sir.
But there's
No
so many
problem.
great design elements in this. And then, like, look at that ship.
Yeah.
Come on.
I would have thought you were going with that.
Oh yeah. Well, there's spaceships and such.
Yes.
But and then of course you go through all of this, and this is a book that I've been getting into because I think the artwork is excellent, and they're very snappy and fun. They're kind of like Lethal Weapon movies, but in like
Oh, Dirty Pair.
manga.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been picking those up, the Eclipse editions and the early Dark Horse editions, because I don't want these in color.
No.
I mean that's why I brought this thing too. We won't go through that. The Doctor Strange Essential, because I want to see the artwork in black and white. See the bones of it. See what's good about the bones. Make good bones.
Plus, you can color it yourself.
That's right. Just like Bone. Bone was black and white. Now it's being released in color editions.
All right, let's go through one more book. We'll call it a day.
All right. I want to see that Shaky Kane stuff.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm very curious. That's obviously.
Oh,
not
look
it.
at that. That is a great panel.
What is it?
It's Scree.
Furby vampire bat?
This thing is like
Some of the stuff in the back is really good. I don't know what it was. But
this like a Brian Bolland.
Yeah.
the book.
Oh, this is good.
I actually
Yeah.
got distracted looking through the book,
Yeah.
trying to find the data information because it's just so amazing. I actually like the way that the pages are done, the stuff at the bottom.
I don't.
You don't?
No,
like that.
I was going to make a comment, but
Well, it's because it was originally magazine size.
It's what I'm saying. It's probably a different format
Yeah.
size, so they had to. do
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
So they just had extra space at the top and bottom. I don't think that's terrible to kind of indicate which story and what page you're on, but yeah, just having the lines go across. I don't know. It was, again, it's in the early days. It's in the early days of desktop publishing. So the fact that they can even do that in the layout is
Yeah.
probably exciting to them. Yeah, this thing is drawn like crazy. Those Europeans.
This might be.
man,
We might have saved the best for last.
Oof.
This thing's wild.
Look at that thing. That's
Mhm.
worth the whole. That's worth the whole thing right there. It's just that one page. I mean, that's how you do a splash. Wow, that's pretty good stuff. Well, it's mostly Loner, right? Or is this just part of a series and they're billing the other stuff as things that are also happening?
I don't
Must
know.
be. New Verdicts, Judge Dredd, Nemesis.
Is
the
that original
Warlock.
Judge Dredd or reprints?
It's reprints, I believe.
Okay.
Well, it says New Verdicts.
Yeah, so I was kind of curious if there was actually
I don't know.
I would interpret that as new. I mean,
publication history on Judge Dredd has got to be so crazy.
Yeah, I feel like all the stuff that's imports is always better than the stuff that's
Mhm.
produced in the United States. Well, because I mean, how could you go against was it Carlos Esquerza and Mick McMahon, Brian Bolland,
That one I know.
Steve Dillon, like
Aw.
yeah, R.I.P. But I didn't see. Maybe it's this revolver thing. Is not this.
I don't know. Hey,
That is a little
Cool books,
confusing,
though.
But man, the art is punched way higher than I thought it would. Actually, flipping through that.
so enjoy, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Martin, do you have anything
Dang, there's
else?
some good stuff.
I don't think so.
I think we did it. I think we did a podcast.
Yeah, we did a podcast. We did the allotted time. If you round up, that's an hour.
Look at that string.
You have to wait for Jonathan to tell us it's okay. Let us go.
Oh yeah. Well, the last couple minutes here, I got the essential edition of Doctor Strange #3 here. Look,
Some fun stuff.
See,
Good
this
bones.
is why when
Gene Colan.
we do like planned topics that we go 40 minutes over
Mhm.
because we have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Tom Palmer on top of Gene Colan. Has there been a better team in comics for the art? I don't know. They're definitely up there for me personally.
One on top of the other, up there for you. Got it.
Yep. Palm in your colon, right?
And this is where Doctor Strange and Clea are putting on their headbands because they're about to jazzercise.
Mm.
That's in my pitch for Marvel.
Is it?
If you're out there, I want to do jazzercise because then you can do poses like this and it makes sense, right?
Not the Deanna Troy.
Jazzercise, and they've got the jazz hands. Yeah.
Jazzercise, jazz hands,
Not the Deanna Troy, Dr. Crusher, aerobics.
but into
workout stretching,
but into a dance routine from
Yeah,
like
okay.
Xanadu. There it is.
No singing.
This has been the Comic Shop as a podcast.
I'm Aaron Z. Lee.
I'm Evan Coy. We're here with a very special guest star.
I'm a Thundercat ho.
Tally ho.
Apologies to Jack Kirby.
Sorry, Jack.
Good night, everybody.